Hello and welcome to the Pointless Distractions podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Draper. With me,
Scott Westerman.
Graham Bergeron.
And Cameron Bergeron.
You're back.
Hey!
he's
I'm back.
Special true crime correspondent has returned.
Yes, I'm here with an update on the Karen Reed trial. She was found not guilty.
Woohoo!
Yes, of most things.
Yay!
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I was more excited.
She still drove drunk.
Yeah, which, if you recall, is exactly what I predicted would happen. They found her not guilty of murder. They found her not guilty of leaving the scene of a murder, but they did find her guilty of drunk driving.
Bummer.
Which she kind of freely admitted to.
She did. Yeah. She participated in some interviews.
So what, she's just going to lose her license and that's it?
She's got probation for a year.
I mean, that's, all things considered, not bad.
Right?
Yeah, I would say that's pretty decent.
Life in prison or probation for a year. Okay.
So is this whole thing, like, over and done with now, or is there...
That depends. The prosecution obviously was targeting Karen Reed. She was found not guilty. They could actually, do an investigation and try to find out, right? Who would think that? They could try to find out who actually potentially killed this guy, but they would have to investigate somebody who's not her. And they would have to investigate some pretty well-connected individuals for that to happen. So...
Well, it couldn't have been a police officer.
They would never do anything bad.
Yeah.
There's no corruption in the police, right? So there's no way that they could be covering anything up.
I say they dust the solo cups again. That's the key.
I actually, when I was watching some of the like post coverage, I saw some people in the Free Karen Reed crowd with solo cup earrings. So somebody's already on the merch.
Oh, damn it. I thought we had the idea.
I know. Somebody was there.
The next big trial, we'll get in on the ground floor and we can start doing the merch early.
All right, Kyle, go kill somebody. We'll get this all set up.
Yeah.
Let me know when it happens. I'll start the coverage and we'll figure out an alibi. So, wicked excited for Karen. Very glad that she's, not being incarcerated for something she didn't do, that she was found not guilty, that the jurors were able to see through the nonsense that the prosecution was putting out.
How does her deceased boyfriend's family feel about this? Do they think she did it, or?
Yeah, they do. So the deceased boyfriend's mom seemed to think that she did. The rest of the group of people who they were friends with, who are for the most part part of this conspiracy, put out a statement saying that justice wasn't served, and she's being let off basically for something that she did do. But again, if you're framing somebody and they're found innocent, you really got to double down, it seems.
I mean, they should just shut their mouths because they didn't get caught either. So I just say,
I mean,
all right, we're good.
If there is a conspiracy, then technically they're not wrong because justice hasn't been served yet. So that could be like a weird self-report.
Could be. They do slip every so often. Like when you watch some of the coverage, they have those little Freudian slips where they say things and you're kind of like, okay, you're misremembering, you're getting yourself mixed up there.
Yeah, there was a special Dateline that was running last night or the night before. And I was kind of zoning in and out watching some of it with my wife. And it was kind of funny because the prosecution would be saying one thing like, oh, all the evidence shows this. We got the cell phone data. We got the data from the cars. And we got this. And then the defense would come up and it's like, they had the same data. Be interpreted this way, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, okay, so who are you supposed to believe in a case like that? It was just weird. It's like, yeah, the guy definitely froze to death. I mean, at some point. And then they had the whole thing with were they, wounds on his arm from dog bites, or were they from hitting the shattered, plastic in the taillights and all this? And it was just funny going back and forth some of the stuff. It was like, I don't know what to believe anymore. It's like I could see I was a hung jury the first time around. And then you watch the people on the stand squirming under, when they're testifying. And it's just like, they look kind of squirmy, but then she's looking really squirmy too when they're saying things. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. So it's like, I'm glad I wasn't on that jury.
So Cam, what do you officially think happened to him in your mind?
Okay, so there was this party that happened at this house where the police officer lived. This other police officer lived.
And they were playing flip cup with the judge.
They were playing flip cup with the judge.
They'd all
been drinking.
And the dog.
And the dog. These people had all been drinking all day. they, I guess, had gone to like a funeral that morning. They all started drinking. They all went to a bar together. They all went back to this house for like an after party. I think he went into the house. The reason why I think he went into the house is because there's a group text message from the people that were out the house where they said, we all agree that he never came into the house, right? They were all like, right, correct, yes. Like, so I think he did go into the house. If you have to verify a story saying that he didn't, I think he did. And I think that he got into some kind of an altercation with people who were there because they had all been drinking all day. Karen maybe had some like spicy text messages with another party goer, another attendee at the party. I think maybe that came out when they were all together. Everybody's a little drunk. Maybe somebody pushed somebody. The dog sees people going at it, bites John O'Keefe to like try to get into this fight, whatever dogs do. I don't know if he was obviously punched. I don't know if he was intentionally slammed or if he stumbled because he was drunk and he got hit and he kind of fell onto something and like knocked his head. So I think it could have been an accidental death as part of this like fight or altercation that happened, and that they then decided to cover it up and drag the body outside, left him out there to die, or he was already dead by the time they brought him out.
Changed the floors.
Got rid of their dog. They'd had this dog for 7 years, gave him away to somebody, rehomed him across state lines, and then sold the house.
Ditched the phones.
They all got rid of their phones right after this happened. Got rid of the SIM cards right after this happened. Yeah. So
Nothing suspicious there.
Nothing suspicious there. That's what I think happened, is like this altercation, whether it was intentional or, potentially an accident.
If this is a conspiracy and a cover-up, they are the worst conspirators I think I have ever heard.
Yeah.
Well, they got away with it, apparently.
Yeah, they were fucking hammered, so it sounded good at the time.
Yeah.
Nobody's
Well, so far they have.
Yeah.
Watch Graham's house get swatted on here because
BD's showing up. It was us. No, but
we hear you was talking about us.
Right.
Find Graham's frozen corpse in the late June outside.
It's just suspicious.
Well, didn't you tell me that like the FBI is investigating the?
Yeah. So the FBI is investigating this police department. It might have started prior to this whole incident, but like the FBI was involved. The FBI like interviewed some of the party goers. I'm going to call them suspects. Some of the suspects. And like they're like looking into this police department for like alleged like wrongdoings. If you watch some of the coverage, you can see them make reference to like agents, and that's what they're referencing. Is like, I don't think they're like supposed to say like the FBI or like federal agents, and that's what they're referencing. But I think,
so you're saying it's not over yet?
I think it's not over yet. Maybe somebody somewhere will investigate. One of the things that drives it home as being suspicious for me is Karen Reed pulls up to this house, finds her boyfriend's body on the lawn at 5:30 a.m., 6 a.m. She's with a mutual friend of theirs. It's a mutual friend's sister's house, right, where this all happened.
Okay.
It's her sister and brother-in-law's house. They find a dead body on the lawn. It is like squarely on the lawn. It's like 12 feet away from the curb, right? Mm-hmm. So he's bloodied. He's clearly beaten. He's got black eyes, bruises, cuts, blood. Appears deceased. Dog bites. He appears deceased.
But they hit her going.
Just say he's
they
all
hit his arm
up.
though.
But they just hit his arm, right? She just hit his arm. This woman does not think to go check on her sister in that house. Like, if it was my sister and I found a dead body on her lawn, I'd be like, please, somebody, go check the house and make sure that, like, my sister's alive. I'd be calling her, get out here, knocking on the door. Like, are you okay? Let me in. Like, I would be worried for my sister and my brother-in-law. And she just doesn't go into the house. She doesn't try to get them to come out of the house. She doesn't call them. At that point in the morning, they all called each other back and forth right around the time where this guy died while they were all quote unquote sleeping. They all butt dialed each other numerous times.
Yeah, I saw
sleeping.
that. It just happened to butt dial each other.
But like throughout this whole thing, paramedics show up, police show up, there's sirens, there's lights, there's a dead body on the lawn and nobody comes out of the house. And this sister doesn't ask any first responders to go into the house to check on people and make sure that her sister's alive. Why would you not do that unless you knew what happened?
Like, he wasn't covered in snow or anything, right? I know it was snowy, but...
No.
So there was some snow on him.
Yeah, there was some snow on him.
It wasn't, like, buried, though.
Yeah. You could see the blood. You could see the bruises.
Well, it was also funny how Karen was driving around, leaving, yelling, screaming voicemails at him, like, where are you? You suck, blah, 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 I hate you, and all this.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't find you. Where the heck are you? And all this.
Right.
And it's like, she was pissed because she couldn't find him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, and then they finally did find him, and he's out there, and apparently you hit him in the arm and spun him around, knocked him back 15 feet, and somehow killed him like that. Okay.
Yep. Exactly.
And yet his arm wasn't broken or anything. And it was funny, they did a reenactment too, where the guys are like, I'm going to ram this test dummy with my SUV going 24 miles an hour and see what happens. And it was like, yeah, might have broken his arm, but it wouldn't have thrown him back that far and everything. And there was nothing for him to hit his head on or anything. It was just kind of like, okay.
Right. Exactly. Like, the story doesn't add up. And I think Karen showed up. Maybe she was still drunk at 6 a.m. and she is freaking out. Like you said, she's been calling him, looking for him, can't find him, finds him dead on a lawn, and is thinking while drunk, oh my God, like, did I hit him when I drove off at 2 a.m.? Did I hit him? Because she's drunk. Maybe didn't have the, like, clearest memory. And I think they used that, and they were like, this is a perfect cover-up.
Yeah. I can't imagine any investigation where a dead body is found on someone's lawn.
And they don't question the people inside.
And no police enter the residence.
Right?
Like, that's the most suspicious to me.
Especially when there's other cops in the house and, like, what was an ATF agent or something?
Yeah. That's the guy that Karen was spicy texting with, talking about how she, like, was unhappy in her relationship and it wasn't going the way she wanted it to go. Again, I think that's motive.
But she had a type then, law enforcement.
She did. She did. Yeah.
She likes handcuffs.
Probably not anymore. Oh.
That one's ruined for her.
Probably, yeah.
Probably. So I guess we'll see what happens. We'll see what the FBI comes up with. FBI agents who are probably listening to this, if you do need any help, I'm here for you.
Contact the Pointless Distractions podcast.
You have the full support of the Pointless Distractions
podcast. They cracked the case. We're going to be on Dateline in 2 weeks.
But for a good reason, right?
Hopefully.
If we suspiciously turn up dead, everybody knows why.
One of our 8 followers did it.
Yeah.
One of our 8 followers works for the Canton PD.
At least it's a, small pool of suspects.
That's true.
Just using her knowledge to get to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Diane Sawyer's like, Kyle, we really enjoy your off-the-cuff comments.
May I offer you a solo cup?
We're just gonna we're gonna go out to check the mail tomorrow, and there's just gonna be a solo cup on our front porch.
Hey, no.
Instead of a horse head in your bed, it's a pack of solo cups.
I don't know what.
That's how organized crime does it these days.
I want to go to a law enforcement party. I mean, they know how to fucking rage.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly.
Well, I mean, they get to drive home drunk all they want. Nobody's going to pull them over. Right. If they do get pulled over, like, get out of here, Charlie.
Don't piss them off. You'll end up on the front lawn.
Right.
Glad that maybe justice wasn't served, but the legal system worked the way it was supposed to in this case.
Now watching 20 Years Deathbed Confessional. I did it.
Right.
An OJ situation. She comes out with a book in 20 years. If I did it.
If I did it, this is how I would have done it.
If I did it, I would have backed over him twice.
Right. Make sure the job's done.
I mean, at least once.
Yeah.
And she probably would have been found guilty, but...
Hit more than just an arm.
You're going to say that this is how he was killed and you don't even take a picture of that at the scene?
Right.
And, like, there's a video of her drunk driving, backing into his car in their garage or their driveway.
Oh, Jesus. I wish you told us that before.
Yeah. They showed that on the Dateline thing. I was like, oh, okay. But then, of course, the prosecution's like, well, that's there. We couldn't have possibly broken her taillight doing that. Like, backing into another car would not break your taillight. Okay.
Bumping a wrist would.
Well, they have to explain the dog bite-like injuries on the wrist.
Mm-hmm.
It was from breaking the taillight with his arm.
Right.
But then it went all up and down his entire arm. Like, what? Did his arm get stuck in there? She drug him with it, or like what? It was just, the whole thing was bizarre.
Like, they really just took whatever facts they could find and tried to make them fit.
Well,
that's called police work.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for coming on and giving us the update.
Yes, thank you for inviting me back. And anytime there's a murder, or I guess other crimes too, I'm happy to be.
Well, I did have the idea of doing like a once a month like spin-off true crime show under the Pointless Distractions podcast umbrella, the network, if you will.
I would be honored to be in the network. I will bring all of my conspiracies, whether or not they are fact-based.
Ooh, here we go.
Right?
Now we got a show.
The internet doesn't run on facts, so I think we'll be fine.
Yeah. I can create a conspiracy where there isn't one, drum up a lot of interest, and accurately predict how the person's going to be found guilty or not guilty. And that's valuable.
That is true.
Graham, you're in trouble.
He's the one who has to edit all that shit.
Don't let me get
We just
arrested.
come up with the idea. Yeah, make it happen.
All right. Well,
All right.
thanks, guys.
What do you guys feel about like dickheads who don't put their cards back at the grocery store, Walmart, Target?
Lazy pieces of shit.
I mean, I won't lie. I've done it a couple times.
Graham.
When?
Graham. Bad.
For real? Or are you just saying it for this bit?
I mean, I can remember a couple times that I've done it, but it's only if I have like the kids with me and they are like messing around and I need to put them in the car and I don't want to leave them in the car by themselves to put the cart back. I'll just leave it there.
I don't know if I can give him a pass for that, but I guess it's all right. But
I've never done it like when I am alone.
alone and able-bodied.
Yeah.
No, I'm just I'm at Walmart the other day with Jen, and we're just like walking out. I have my cart. I see this dude, probably my age, good shape. He was like driving a fucking Escalade.
Well, he's too good for us, obviously.
Yeah.
He does not sully his hands with such menial labor.
What is the area where the carts go back to?
The cart corral.
Corral. Yeah, it was probably like 3 rows over. He just leaves it by his fucking car. And I had to text you guys about it. I'm like, I'm fucking livid right now. And
He doesn't just skip leg
I was
day,
just
he
trying to
skips
bait
cart
you
day,
guys
too.
into like giving me something. I was like, I'm so fucking pissed. This guy. I don't understand why you can't put the cart back.
Well, let me tell you, I worked at grocery stores from high school all the way through college, and actually I think maybe a little bit the summer after I graduated. I don't remember. No, I guess not. But anyway, for like a good 6-7 years, I was a grocery store boy, and I always had to go out, whenever and get the carts. Sometimes in the pouring rain, sometimes in the snow, whatever. It's easy if you put it back in the cart corral. I don't have to go chasing around the entire freaking parking lot because some lazy piece of crap is like, oh, I'm just gonna leave my cart here because I'm too good for such things.
Yeah, unless you
Let
have
the
like
little piss boy making minimum wage go get it. Like, no, screw you. You're able-bodied. Okay, if you're like an old granny or something, fine. I'll go get the cart for you. I don't care. But why the hell are you parking out in BFE anyway? But yeah, I hate it. And of course, you always see the carts that are just like random. The ones I like the best are when the cart corral is not even full and the people put their carts by the cart corral, blocking a parking space, or they put them like in between the parking spaces so you can't pull into the space. Oh my God, I hate these people.
That's the one that I
Lazy
hate more.
Pieces of crap.
Like, if you're going to commit to bringing the cart back, just bring it all the way.
Yeah, it's not that hard. It's maybe 20 seconds of your time.
I remember once reading an article about like how we couldn't self-govern govern ourselves because we can't even put carts back on our own. How could we go about anything farther than that?
Maybe there's just cart anarchists and they don't want to follow the man's rules.
I guess so.
I mean, I could almost respect that, except for that just means you're really just a lazy piece of crap.
Yeah, exactly. But
And you
I don't know,
probably
it really
have
pisses me off.
designer sneakers and an iPhone and designer
I won't
clothes.
lie. I was kind of wishing that dude went off the road and like a nitroglycerin truck hit him.
I mean, that seems...
But the guy in the nice nitroglycerin truck was fine. But the
that
cart guy
seems
wasn't.
that seems a little excessive for not putting a shopping cart back.
This is my
I don't know.
rules.
Kyle has rules. I think Kyle should be emperor of the world.
I don't
That's
know.
only because I know him, though.
I find it annoying, but not like it doesn't anger me. I think I get more angry at those internet videos of people like trying to be self-governing police, trying to call people out for doing it. Like I find those people infinitely more annoying than people that don't return the carts.
I hope they're carrying guns because they're going to get their asses kicked one of these days, if they haven't already.
Because I was thinking of almost saying something, and I'm like, I'm not gonna like fuck around. Who knows? Like, this dude could have a gun. I mean, he just looked like a regular dude, but I'm like, I'm not gonna do anything about it.
Yeah, I'll
I
just
mean,
get
worst
worked up
case,
and
I
then
went
be
and
like,
got the
yeah, whatever.
cart right in front of him and put it away. But I don't
And
know, it
another
really
thing-
fucking annoys me.
The other thing I see in parking lots, I just saw it again today, is that I'm trying to I'm going to Target. I had to get a freaking card for a graduation party tomorrow. And I'm just trying to park, and I can't because everybody in front of me has to be cool and back into their parking space. It's like, I got my big SUV, I got to back in. It's like, why are these people like suddenly backing into parking spaces? It's because they got the rearview mirror and they want to, or the rearview camera and they got to use it. It's annoying. I hate people that just have to back in. Pull through or just pull in. It doesn't matter. It's probably, I'm just saying that because I suck at backing up.
I'm a pull through person myself.
But not a pull out.
Oh, I mean, I got the kids to prove it. Yes. Pulling out is for quitters. All right, so a couple episodes back, I don't remember, but we were talking about Godzilla, and you, Kyle, said something about doing a Godzilla episode. You know, it's been on my mind recently. You know, getting on here talking about Godzilla. What are some of you guys' histories with Godzilla or like kaiju franchises as a whole?
Well, I can go first.
Sure.
My dad used to show me all that stuff. Obviously, my dad was born in the 40s, so like he probably saw the original Godzilla as like, 8, 9, 10-year-old. He was big into Mothra, and I kind of got big into that just from him. So we used to watch all those movies, but I never was obsessed with them. I couldn't tell you specific ones, but like I said, I was always a Mothra fan, I would say.
I mean, I was similar growing up. Like, my dad had seen a lot of the movies, and I remember they would do Godzilla marathons on like Sci-Fi Channel. So I'd be a kid, like 8, 9, 10 years old, and we'd just have Godzilla movies on all day. And like, I wouldn't sit and watch them, but I'd be playing in and out of the living room, watching the monster fights when they came on, and that really stuck with me. It wasn't until like the 2014 Legendary movie that I became like a huge Godzilla fan, but he's always been like part of my life.
Yeah, growing up in the 70s, Godzilla was freaking everywhere. My first exposure, I don't know, I probably would have seen a couple of movies when I was little, but the big thing for me, the one that really grabbed my attention was the Shogun Warriors Godzilla. That thing was freaking awesome. Went to the local Ben Franklin one time and they had one out on display for Christmas. Little
That's
thing,
the one with the tongue and the
yeah, you little flick the lever in the back and
off the fist.
Yeah, the fish shoots off. He's on like roller skates basically to move him. He's not very posable, but he stands like 2 feet tall. If you ever seen like the Shogun Warriors, he's that size.
Isn't that thing super valuable?
Comes up. I don't know. Probably. I've always wanted to get one, but I never have. I probably should have at some point. But that thing was sweet. And then there was a Saturday morning Godzilla cartoon we used to watch every Saturday, and of course it had that stupid Godzuki on it. But that was fine. It was basically like this. I don't know what exactly they were, like some kind of exploratory team or something on this boat, and they had a way to signal Godzilla when they needed help, and Godzuki was always with them and everything. Basically, it was one of those, it was kind of like Voltron, where you just kind of suffer through the first 20 minutes of the episode just to see, Godzilla finally show up and wreak havoc, and that was the good part. He'd come up, he'd kill stuff, Godzuki would, like, mess with him, and he'd blow smoke rings and go back under the ocean and disappear. They used to play the Godzilla movies on, like, every Saturday, I think, on one of the channels, and so I have seen a few of them, but they all kind of blend together. I was never really a huge fan. I remember, was it 98 or 99 when the Matthew Broderick Godzilla came out, the Roland Emmerich one? It's like, why does he look like a big Gila monster? Like, that's weird. And that movie was just, special effects were cool at the time, but man, that movie just did not do it. But it was huge. It was like Taco Bell had all the, all the merch and everything, and all kinds of tie-ins. Pepsi was doing commercials. I mean, everybody was doing commercials for that show. And then the actual movie comes out, and it's like, wow, that was terrible.
Yeah, I remember all the hype leading up to it, because I was 9 at the time. Like, that movie.
What was the tagline?
Everywhere.
Yeah, size matters, I think was the tagline for it.
Wait,
remember what the Taco Bell dog said? Here, lizard, lizard, lizard.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Speaking of size matters, Kyle, weren't you telling me that there's a Diddy song on the soundtrack?
Oh yeah, I don't remember. That's what it's called, right? It samples Zeppelin's Kashmir.
Honestly, was that song? Okay.
I had no idea. I honestly just thought that Kashmir was like the theme song of that movie, and I had no idea that it was just sampled in a different song.
He's just fucking with us right now.
No.
Well, like you said, he was like 8 or 9 years old.
No,
every commercial for that had Kashmir in it.
When you texted me that yesterday, I thought you were just being stupid.
No,
I'm not.
I legitimately had no idea that was
like,
a Diddy song.
Like, you haven't heard that since, like, on the radio.
I've heard Kashmir. I haven't heard the song that samples it.
Yeah, I used to hate that. like all the sampling he used to do on stuff. It's like, ugh.
Well, yeah, he also did.
I was like, that's a great song, and you ruined it.
Was the Police song when Biggie died? I'll be missing you, whatever.
Every breath you take.
Yeah.
All right,
Graham's like, wait, that was Sting?
That was the Police?
It brings up a question that I always have when talking about Godzilla movies.
Okay.
Is it more important for a Godzilla movie to be like a good movie or to be a fun movie?
That's a good question for lots of different franchises.
I would say fun. I want it to be dumb.
Like, yeah, specifically
I think
for
fun.
like Godzilla kaiju movies, I want them to be fun and dumb. Like, I really love
We've been good for the last 15 years then, or 10 years.
Godzilla Kong movies, like those movies are so fun. One of my favorite Godzilla movies is Final Wars, which a lot of people hate, but it's just Godzilla fighting like every single major monster that he's ever faced and just kicking the shit out of all of them.
I know my favorite is, well, at least from the old ones, Godzilla Tokyo SOS, I believe.
Yeah, that's a
Late
Mechagodzilla
90s.
one.
Yeah, it's Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, Mothra, of course. Why I like it, and I don't even know what the alien is in that one.
Yeah, as long as it's got Mechagodzilla, I'm good. I loved him as a kid.
This could be a controversial take, but like Godzilla Minus One came out last year. Love it. I think it's like a 10 out of 10 movie. I think it's like a...
Yeah, we saw that together. We were like, oh my god!
I think it's like a 6 out of 10 Godzilla movie. Like, I love the movie. It is fantastic. I don't think it's a great Godzilla movie.
Not enough fun in it?
Yeah, it just not enough fun in it. I feel like the good
Godzilla shooting nuclear blasts and Holocaust everywhere. You wouldn't.
Yeah, I feel like a great Godzilla.
That movie's not very
happy and uplifting.
The kid in it, the little kid was funny though.
They always have the little kids in it, don't they?
I mean,
this was like a baby, but she would just start crying out of nowhere and just wailing, and I was just in the theater laughing.
I feel like you do often laugh at crying children.
That's like one of the most annoying noises in the world.
Can I go back to why I like Tokyo SOS?
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's this one scene where the government's tracking Mothra, and you know what Mothra looked like, old school Mothra, just like hovering.
Oh yeah, you can.
They're tracking Mothra, and somehow there's like F-15 fucking jets following at full speed, going however fast that goes, like just keeping up with it as it's like these things like
slowly flapping.
And I remember seeing that with Pat, and I was like, "Oh my god, we were just fucking dying." Like the thing just hovers there, and it's being like chased by tomcats.
Now my question is: does Mothra make it through the movie alive?
I don't remember.
Does Mothra ever make it through a movie alive?
Doesn't she just get reborn though?
Every time, and then dies before the end of the movie.
I know the little twin girls are in that.
Are they the ones that sing and call out Mothra or whatever? Okay.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Mothra's main character trait is that she dies in every movie.
And the dude that's in the original Mothra that finds the twins is in SOS, and he's obviously like an 80-year-old something dude at this point.
Oh, cool.
But it's the same actor and everything.
So I never understood, because I haven't watched too many of these, like, especially as an adult. I've only seen these things like 30, 40 years ago. Is Mothra supposed to be a good guy, or is it just a nemesis for Godzilla?
No, she is like a protector of Earth.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Because Godzilla is kind of an anti-hero too, because sometimes he's good and sometimes he's just doing Godzilla things and wrecking everything, so I don't know. Yeah,
Mothra is one of the only kaiju that is like strictly always benevolent in their appearances.
That's another thing. I've only, like, the term kaiju, I've only seen that like really recently, like within the last 20 years or so. Has that always been part of the Godzilla lore, or is kaiju a relatively new thing?
I think it's just been adopted recently. It's just like Japanese for giant monster. So like any giant monster.
I only remember hearing that around like Pacific Rim.
Yeah, Pacific Rim I think is when it really started getting big, and I was like, oh.
But like Pacific Rim would be kaijus.
And now it's in the new Superman. It's like kaiju.
Right. And it's just like a normal term now. There's like, anybody who talks about giant monsters is a kaiju. So that's been around, but not really part of the vernacular. It's just the Japanese word for giant monster.
We've just started adopting.
Gotcha. Okay. I always wondered that.
Like
so what else we got on Godzilla?
The first Cloverfield movie, I think, is technically a kaiju movie.
Yeah, and I don't think they used the term in that one either.
No, I think that was a little before.
That movie was so cool until they actually showed what the monster looked like. I was like, oh.
I was in my.
It's just like a big bad guy kind
I
of.
never saw that movie.
Oh, really?
Oh my god! I was in my freshman year of college when that released, and I remember the first trailer came out, and it was one of the first movies that did like a heavy, like ARG campaign, and so all the marketing leading up to the release of that movie was incredible. Like they had MySpace pages for all the characters in the movie, and they had like the full backstory of everything. Like everything they don't explain in the movie was probably explained like during the marketing.
Man, they really went through a lot of those found footage movies for a while there, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like after Blair Witch got super successful, like every movie that came out was some kind of found footage like that.
I feel like that was one of the better ones, though.
Yeah, that one was good.
Although
The Blair Witch episode coming soon.
It has the
no, thanks.
It has the same like failings that all found footage movies do, where like if I was in that situation, I would never keep my camera. Like I would drop that shit and run.
This is very well edited and very well in frame for people running from a disaster.
I think.
Can I say one thing? It's not about Godzilla or Kaiju. Well, I mean technically, the movie Underwater.
I
haven't seen it, but isn't that like a secret Cthulhu movie?
Yes, Cthulhu is in the end of that movie, and it's fucking terrifying.
Really?
Yeah, and nobody knew it when it came out, and you don't know until the last 15 minutes.
Oh, I want to watch that now.
Yeah, I mean that's the trouble with having like a secret ending like that is no one knows leading up to it, so no one like has the buzz to go see it.
I mean that's definitely like I don't know what the budget was, but that's a beautiful fucking movie. It's a slow burn, but when you get to the end.
What was the other one? Was it Chronicle? Was that the found footage superhero movie?
Yeah, that's one of the
That one is pretty cool.
That's one of the only found footage movies where they explain how it continues to be a found footage movie.
Mm-hmm.
Where like the characters can move stuff with their minds, so they're like controlling the camera, so they can
watch this. This
can be in frame and not have to hold the camera. Like I liked that.
Yeah, I liked that movie too. I thought the ending was kind of strange the way it just kept escalating and escalating, but yeah, that was a cool movie. So what else we got?
I thought of a fun thing to do is I have a list of a bunch of Godzilla monsters, and I'm gonna like tell you about them, explain them a little bit, and then I want you guys to guess whether or not in their first main movie they were able to like successfully defeat Godzilla.
What do you mean by defeat? Put him down temporarily or
knock him over?
Yeah, I would say put him down temporarily. Like at least one fight in the movie ends with Godzilla losing.
Because Godzilla's always got to win in the end. All right, cool.
I would say most of them, yes, he does win in the end. All right, so let's start off with Mothra. You know, the giant moth, protector of the Earth, frequently a Godzilla ally, but they have fought on occasion.
See, I'm a little scared because the formula seems to be like Rocky, where they come out and they beat him up real good first, and then he comes back in the second act or third act and kicks their butt.
I'm going to say Mothra takes him out and silks him up.
Yeah. No, Mothra. I think Mothra is one of the only kaiju that Godzilla has never officially like defeated.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like Mothra either wins against Godzilla or like sacrifices herself so that Godzilla can beat another monster. So like Mothra dies all the time, but I don't know if I know of any movies where Godzilla actually defeats Mothra.
See, and Mothra's like the most famous Godzilla villain, and I didn't know that, so that tells you how much I know about these movies.
All right, next monster is Megalon, and Megalon is a giant mutated stag beetle. Has like spears for hands.
That name sounds familiar, but I can't remember what.
Didn't Jet Jaguar and Godzilla fight that?
Yeah, the Jet Jaguar movie was Godzilla versus Megalon.
I knew it.
I'm gonna say no.
Oh, wait, I have to answer. Yeah.
Correct. Godzilla.
Go. Oh yeah, don't forget about the Blue Oyster Cult song. Another Godzilla piece of pop culture that's infiltrated our lives.
Oh, great song.
See, we're supposed to talk about the music aspect of Graham's finding the band and one.
Right.
There you go. He loves Godzilla. This might be his new favorite band.
Sticking with Godzilla versus Megalon, Jet Jaguar. I think Kyle.
All right, who exactly is Jet Jaguar? Because I did not even hear that name till like 2 weeks ago, and suddenly, like, I've heard it like 5 times since for some reason.
He's like he's a humanoid size, like.
Yeah, he's an android that
He looks like a Power Ranger, maybe, like.
but like
I was
mixed
like
with a clown.
I
And
thought
a
like
robot.
CERN opened up the freaking superconductor again and shut me another alternate dimension because I've never heard of Jet Jaguar my entire life until like the last 2 weeks, and
You're
I have no
welcome.
idea. I'll say no because I have no idea who it is.
I don't remember. I'm gonna say no.
Correct. I'm pretty sure that Jet Jaguar and Godzilla did not actually fight in that movie. All right, let's hop to Rodan, a pretty
Ooh.
recognizable Godzilla foe, a giant pterodactyl.
Okay, I was gonna say he's the one that's pterodactyl, right? Okay. He doesn't have any atomic breath or anything crazy, does he?
It depends on the version. I don't think he has any
Don't see how he could possibly defeat
wings?
Godzilla other than just being an annoying pecker. So I'm gonna say no. Godzilla beats his ass.
Yeah, I'll say no.
You are both incorrect.
No way.
Rodan has defeated Godzilla.
Stupid Rodan. How?
We're gonna move to one of my favorite Godzilla foes, strictly from the name alone, Kamunga.
Kamunga.
Kamunga is a giant spider.
Giant spider.
Yeah.
I think I've seen toys of this guy.
He's been in like 4 different Godzilla movies. I think he fights Baby Godzilla a couple times, or not Baby Godzilla.
Manila. What's his name?
Kamunga.
Little like sweet face Godzilla mini guy.
Yeah, Manila. So Manila and
smoke rings.
Manila and Baby Godzilla are technically 2 different creatures.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then stupid Godzuki from the cartoon.
Yeah, because Manila is always a baby, but Baby Godzilla grows up into one of the future Godzillas.
Okay, so Baby Godzilla appears side by side with old school Godzilla.
Yeah, so
it's not like a Superboy Superman thing.
So there's like technically more than one Godzilla. So like the original Godzilla then had Baby Godzilla, and then that grew up to be the Godzilla in like a bunch of different other Godzillas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Look at this fancy continuity. All right, so who's this guy? Bazunga or something?
Kamunga.
Kamunga.
Yes, Bazinga.
What's he look like again?
It's a giant spider.
Giant spider. I think.
I'm gonna say yes.
I'm gonna say Godzilla squashes the nasty beast.
I do not think Kamunga has ever beaten Godzilla. One of my favorite fights in Godzilla Final Wars is Kamunga comes up, shoots web at Godzilla, and Godzilla grabs them, spins it around, and just throws them away.
I gotta start watching these Godzilla movies.
They're a lot of fun.
I just don't know which ones I've actually seen.
All right, let's move on to Space Godzilla. So Space Godzilla is basically in one of his battles, bits of Godzilla's DNA got flung into space.
Which bits?
It's open to interpretation.
Spurts.
And these like alien space crystals, the DNA landed on it and formed a brand new Godzilla with giant crystals on his back and like space powers.
Sweet. Well, if they fought, he'd probably beat Godzilla then, because he's got sweet space powers.
Kyle?
Sure. Yeah.
Space Godzilla was a huge problem for Godzilla, and definitely defeated him. Might be the villain in the next Godzilla Kong movie, which I'm very excited for. Yeah, super excited for that.
So what is that movie? Is it just called Space Godzilla? Or Godzilla versus Space Godzilla or something?
Yeah, it's just Godzilla versus Space Godzilla.
All right, I'll look that one up. How many Godzilla movies are there anyway? Like old school Toho movies?
Oh, there's dozens. Speaking of Kong, let's just get it out of the way. King Kong.
Man, I don't remember. I think actually won that movie.
I think Godzilla and King Kong have fought like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Wait, did they fight in the 50s or was it only in the 2000s?
I don't remember when the first Godzilla Kong was, but I think it might have been like the 70s.
Yeah, I think it was 60s or 70s. I know it's been around forever, because Godzilla versus Kong was like I said, in the 70s you couldn't escape Godzilla. He was everywhere. But there was always Godzilla versus Kong as one of the things that was out there. And the question was always like, how does King Kong stand a chance against an atomic freaking lizard with nuclear breath and all this? So I don't remember, but I'm going to say Godzilla kicks his ass.
The first King Kong versus Godzilla was 1962.
Wow.
And I believe that King Kong won that movie. And then everyone was so mad, they made a sequel where Godzilla wins.
Okay.
Yeah.
That must be where the controversy came from and all the schoolyard discussions about how in the world can King Kong stand a chance against Godzilla.
I'm going to go next to a monster called Mogura, which is an acronym, and it's basically like
What's that stand for?
Mobile Operations Godzilla Universal Expert Robot Aerotype. It's basically...
It's not Mechagodzilla?
So, Mogura is basically like the predecessor to Mechagodzilla. Because they finally realized that, like, hey, every time we build Mechagodzilla, it turns evil and goes on a rampage. So, Mogura is basically, instead of just being one giant Godzilla robot, it's like a Megazord. So there's 5 people in, like, fighter jets that come together and form one
Blazing sword.
big Mogura robot.
How did the Japanese say that? Like, Muguru.
Sure, probably.
So it's basically Godzilla's version of Ultron.
Yeah,
or
it's like
any other freaking space Zord or whatever they're called.
Yeah, it's like Mechagodzilla 3, kind of.
Okay, I will say yes. It probably beat Godzilla.
I'll say no.
In the first act, and then Godzilla kicked its ass in the third act.
It is a no.
Muguru.
So it only appeared in the Godzilla versus Space Godzilla movie, and I don't think
really?
I don't think it ever fought Godzilla.
I'll write a note of that for later.
I think it only ever fought Space Godzilla.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's a trick question.
No,
Graham.
it's a kaiju from a Godzilla movie.
What, did Space Godzilla kick its ass?
Oh, yeah.
Well, there you go.
All right. Next, I'm going to move on to a pretty popular Godzilla villain, Biollante.
Say what now?
Biollante?
Biollante is it's like a
Biollante.
It's like a human created kaiju that is a mix between Godzilla DNA, human DNA, and plant DNA.
So he's Swamp Thing mixed with Godzilla, basically.
And like a small child.
I'm gonna say yes.
I'll say no.
Yes, Biollante did
Boo.
destroy Godzilla.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually the Godzilla DNA from Biollante is specifically what is in space and becomes Space Godzilla.
Oh, okay. Never heard of that guy.
All right, we'll do a.
When was that for? When did that movie come out? Is that more recent?
Biollante.
No way. Probably 1972.
89.
Okay. Way after I gave a shit about Godzilla.
You know, for only appearing in one movie, Biollante is like one of the main like Godzilla villains.
Probably because he defeated him so soundly.
I think it's the like backstory to it. It was like a human-made creation where a scientist was trying to bring back his dead daughter using Godzilla's DNA and ended up making a giant monster. All right.
They really like that Godzilla DNA, don't they?
Since Kyle wants a King Ghidorah, let's go with Mecha King Ghidorah. There's like 4.
I know who that is at least.
There's like 4 or 5 Ghidorahs on this list.
So in the 29th Godzilla movie, does he reign supreme? Yes.
Yes, I'll say yes as well.
Nope. Mecha King Ghidorah did not defeat Godzilla.
What a putz.
Yeah, Mecha King Ghidorah is kind of weird. It's like Mecha Godzilla's parts were salvaged to bring Ghidorah back to life, and then Godzilla just shit on him.
Nope.
All right, this is a monster called Varan, and in my notes, the only description I had was, look at this dumb motherfucker.
Varan?
Varan.
Right.
Please feel free to look him up.
I want to look at this guy.
He is like a flying squirrel lizard.
Varan?
Yes. So I just want you to look at him, and then you can decide whether.
Oh, he looks sweet. He's like a slightly retarded dinosaur Godzilla guy. He is a doofy looking dude, isn't he? I like the hands. The hands are a nice touch. I will say no. No way Flying Squirrel's gonna beat him. Oops. Turn my camera off.
Yeah, that's a hard one. All right, let's go for, you know what? Let's go for a slightly easy one. Mechagodzilla.
Mechagodzilla.
Everyone knows Mechagodzilla.
Pretty sure he beat Godzilla the first time they met, and then it was one of those comeback and Godzilla kicks his ass.
I'll say sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what happens every time. There's a new Mechagodzilla. A new Mechagodzilla comes out, kicks Godzilla's ass, then
Godzilla rockies it up.
Yeah, usually
turns into Hulk Hogan, gets his second win.
Gets Mothra's help.
Mothra sacrifices herself.
Every time. All right, this next one is going to be a twofer.
Oh.
Because at the end of Godzilla Final Wars, there is a monster called Monster X, who Godzilla fights, and about halfway through the fight, transforms into a version of King Ghidorah called Kaiser Ghidorah, which is like a King Ghidorah, but for some reason he has 4 legs instead of 2.
And he has a little German helmet with a spike on it.
Yeah, a pith helmet.
So it's two monsters in one.
Yeah, so Monster X.
I'm going to say yes just because the Monster X name is badass.
I'll say no.
It is a no. Godzilla kicks Monster X's ass. He turns into Kaiser Ghidorah, and then he beats Kaiser Ghidorah too.
Invades Poland and, all that shit.
I think there's some, like, Deus Ex Machina shit where the Kaiser Ghidorah is being mind-controlled by, like, an alien race.
Kills Franz Ferdinand.
Oh, that was the other thing. The other big pop culture phenomenon. Bambi versus Godzilla.
Yeah, that was a whole nother topic that I considered talking about, was like random Godzilla crossovers. And
oh man, that made the rounds. That was awesome.
all right, the next one is, did you know that Godzilla actually fought the Roland Emmerich Godzilla in Godzilla Final Wars?
Really?
Yes.
The one who just keeps changing size throughout the movie?
Yep.
Well, I would assume that if Toho or whoever's making that, they would just have him beat the shit out of the Roland Emmerich Godzilla. Like, no mercy, like celebrity deathmatch style. So I'm going to say Godzilla kicks his ass.
100%. Godzilla hits him with his tail once. He flies into the Sydney Opera House, and the fight is over. It is one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie.
Oh, I hope that's on YouTube.
It should be. It's delightful. All right, let's move on to Destroya. Do either of you know anything about the original Godzilla?
I know he's a big lizard with atomic breath.
So
I know it's called Gojira.
So at the end of that movie, the way they defeat Godzilla is with a weapon called the Oxygen Destroyer.
You're talking about the very first one?
Yes, the very first one.
What was the actor that was in that they placed? Obviously, that movie's Japanese, but they placed an American dude and cut it in.
Perry Mason. What's his name?
Oh, some
yeah, it's Perry Mason.
Actor that plays Perry Mason.
Yes, but
I can picture him.
Just like intertwined him for American audiences.
That's funny. Need a white guy to be the lead in this movie so we can sell it to American audiences.
I was almost going to say Milton Berle, but
Raymond Burr.
Raymond
Burr.
Yes,
See,
Raymond Burr.
Sounds the same.
Yes.
Yeah, I kept thinking Milton Berle too. I was like, that's not right.
So
That's funny.
In 1995, they came out with Godzilla versus Destroya, which is Destroya is like a colony of microscopic creatures that were mutated by the Oxygen Destroyer going off.
Okay.
And over like 50,
Micronauts?
Yeah, so over 50 years they like mutated and started
Galactus from the
attacking
second Fantastic Four movie.
humanity, and in the end they all came together to form this giant monster called Destroya, which is one of the coolest looking Godzilla monsters. Godzilla with giant bat wings and like a huge horn on his head. He's awesome.
So he was made out of the Oxygen Destroyer that defeated Godzilla in the first place. So yes, he totally kicked Godzilla's ass.
Yeah, I'll say yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, for sure. Like one of Godzilla's strongest foes. All right, so we only got a couple left. All right, let's move to the OG King Ghidorah.
OG King Ghidorah.
Like probably the most iconic Godzilla villain.
I'm just pretty sure he beats the snot out of Godzilla originally.
I will
say yes.
King Ghidorah beats Godzilla so many times.
He's the king, man.
Yeah.
Till Godzilla says, no, I'm the king of the monsters, bitch.
But King Ghidorah is just probably my favorite Godzilla kaiju. I just love his design so much. Just like a golden 3-headed dragon with no arms. That shoots gravity beams out of his mouth.
Oh, is that what those are? Okay.
Yeah.
To make you heavy.
It always confused me why they were called gravity beams, because I don't think they actually alter gravity at all, and it's more like it just shoots.
It sounds cool.
Yeah, it's the rule of cool.
Yep.
Like it sounds cooler than it shoots lightning out of its mouth. Like no, it shoots gravity beams.
Noise.
But yeah, King Ghidorah beats Godzilla way more than you'd think, given the fact that every upgraded King Ghidorah loses to Godzilla immediately. So the next one is Anguirus.
Anguirus?
Yeah.
Does he wear a kilt?
No, it's so Anguirus is
Angus. Anguirus beef.
Anguirus is one of Godzilla's like first enemies, and Anguirus also has its own movies. It's like a
Really?
yeah, it's like
I never heard of this guy.
a turtle kaiju, spikes all over his shell.
That's his name?
Yep,
He
Anguirus.
spins around and he flies?
Yep.
But I can't think what it was.
Oh well,
Scott's
are
actually
you
the expert. He just has all the different names.
are you thinking
The
of
70s.
of Gamera?
Yeah, I'm thinking of Gamera, I think.
Gemaru.
Gamera.
Yeah, Gamera is also like a turtle.
Flying turtle
Yeah,
who spins.
but I don't know if Gamera has been in any Godzilla movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not even Final Force?
Yeah.
No,
the only
well,
movie he keeps talking about.
Gamera's his own franchise.
He's never seen another
Okay.
fucking movie.
Well, that's weird that they would never cross over like that then. So they made this guy to kind of be the Gamera stand-in, I guess.
Maybe?
Gemaru.
All right, so this guy is the Gamera knockoff, or Gamera is this guy's knockoff, whatever.
What's his
Okay.
name again?
Anguirus. He's the Tails to Godzilla's Sonic, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Kinda.
He's his sidekick.
Yeah, I got that part.
I'll say no.
But they did fight.
I'll say yes.
See, now you're just being
Do
contrary.
not fight.
No,
Gemaru.
no.
Anguirus.
Anguirus did not ever defeat Godzilla. I think
Yeah.
he got his ass kicked once and then was like, I'm
I'll
just
be your
gonna
bitch now.
I'm just gonna stand next to you and
I'm your sidekick now.
Yeah.
Look.
So the last one I'm gonna bring up is Gigan,
What'd you call me?
another one of Godzilla's main
Gigan.
villains.
What's this guy look like?
You've
Have
probably
we
seen
him
it.
before?
Yeah, 100%.
He has like a super sick design.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
Yeah, like
With the
super
little hooked arms?
recognizable. Yeah.
He looks like a hook horror from D&D with wings and spines on his front. Yeah. Okay.
Hook horror from the Underdark.
Yeah. Look at
That's
you.
something
with
to
your
talk about.
There you go. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I know that guy. Has he ever beaten Godzilla?
I'm gonna say no.
I think I'm gonna actually agree on that one.
Both wrong. Gigan has.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, Gigan is like, for only appearing in 3 movies, Gigan is like one of Godzilla's, I would say, just below King Ghidorah in like people that just come and beat the shit out of him.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was that tough.
Oh, yeah. Gigan's one of the ones where like Gigan shows up and.
You're like, oh shit.
Oh, okay. All right. Godzilla's losing this one.
Huh. Okay. I didn't know he was that tough. Cool. Well, we learned some things. That was kind of a fun little romp through Godzilla history, though.
Yeah, I mean, I love talking about Godzilla and his various
With people who have no idea what you're
rogues
talking
gallery.
Well, I mean, I've already got like 3 or 4 movies I want to watch now, so hopefully that sparks something in listeners too. They go out and watch some of this stuff.
All right, so I think the last little question that I had that I brought up, but I don't know, like, if we had actually decided whether we were going to do it, was like if they were going to do a new Godzilla crossover, whether
Okay.
it be like a movie, a TV show, a comic book, like what properties would you want to see crossover with Godzilla?
My God, it's been done so many fucking times.
Like, there's the obvious, like,
But especially with IDW, every time I get that catalog, it's
Godzilla
Great
versus,
Gatsby,
Godzilla
it's
versus-
Avengers, it's blah.
What was the Great Gatsby thing? Because I'd never heard of that one before. They actually did a Great Gatsby versus meets Godzilla?
Yeah, it was Jay Gatsby versus Godzilla. I didn't read it.
How did that go? Would you just throw money at him?
Maybe he had a dance party with Godzilla
Yeah, like what?
and Daisy Buchanan, whatever her name was.
Like Transformers Godzilla could be kind of cool.
that could be fun. I think a big one that a lot of people want is like Pacific Rim.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
they just want to
pretty
see
on the
big
nose.
robots fight Godzilla.
I mean, anything. Like, I know, like, Godzilla had his Marvel series back in the day, and he, fought the Avengers and all these guys. But give me some G.I. Joe versus Godzilla. I want to see that. That'd be a sweet comic.
Oh, that would be fun.
Robotech versus Godzilla, or Macross, or any like that.
Micronauts.
Micronauts versus Godzilla.
I mean,
Does size matter?
it could be a good way to bring Micronauts back into the public eye. I feel like no one knows what Micronauts is.
What else is out there? I mean, they're doing like DC versus or Justice League versus Godzilla right now. I could have sworn they did Avengers again, but I might just be
No, they did.
okay. I
Yeah,
mean, I know they did back in the
they're-
original series in the
Yeah,
70s.
they're
but...
in the process of doing. I don't think it's actually Avengers versus Godzilla. They're just doing a bunch of like one-offs.
Yeah. Okay.
I know that Spider-Man versus Godzilla just came out,
I think that must be the one I just saw. Yeah.
which was weird because it's like a sequel to the first Secret Wars.
Really?
Yeah, so I guess they had the new Godzilla movies. They play him up as like the not necessarily like the guardian of Earth, but like the alpha titan who like protects the balance of Earth. And so Spider-Man came back to the main Marvel universe with the black suit, and that the black suit woke up Godzilla.
Right.
So
God.
the whole premise of the comic was like Godzilla is trying to destroy the black suit because it knows that it could like take over Earth. They just needed they just needed a reason to have one single panel where there was a Venom Godzilla.
Right. That's what they were building to. Well, that's kind of the premise of the recent movies though too, is where Godzilla is like the guy who protects Earth and balances out nature and all that crap, right? So when the other monsters show up, Godzilla just reawakens to kick their butts.
I was gonna say, so Graham, how does the favorite band hunt go?
I mean, I've just been listening to Godzilla-based music for the past week.
Like soundtracks or Blue Oyster Cult?
The Blue Oyster Cult song.
I know Racer X did a remake of that too.
Serge Tankian did a remake of that song, which is also great. Eminem has a song from one of his recent albums called Godzilla. So that's been my music tastes for the past week.
So what's your favorite out of all those?
Oh, I have to go with the OG Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah,
that's a great song.
So we can put Blue Oyster Cult at the top.
We'll put
favorite bands.
We'll put them right up there with Queen.
There you go.
Like potentials.
1A, 1B right now.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Keep it pointless.
Keep it pointless.
Keep it pointless.